Great memories. The Rainbow Children open up the concert of a show that we saw in Montreal, where G. Dassault, co-host of the Up Room. G, great show.
Oh, that was fantastic.
And our next
like
guest,
usual.
Yeah, our next guest was drummer in that band and drummer in so many different Prince tours and recordings. And he was drumming that night, Mr. John Blackwell. And we welcome John, a great friend of ours, to the Upper Room once again. And John, I'm sorry, we're talking on a really, really tough note. But how you been doing, brother?
I'm hanging in there, man. It's been hard, bro.
Yeah.
You know, before you called, I was just listening to Little Red Corvette, a different version of Little Red Corvette that we did in Montreux in 2009, and every time I hear that version of Little Red Corvette, you know, I cry. You know, brings tears in my eyes, man.
Yeah,
but
such a change. You know, the different recordings, and was Prince? He was really into changing up the different versions of classic songs.
Yeah. Always. But I think my favorite, as I just said before, after listening to it, that I love that version, the arrangement that he did on Little Red Corvette. And another song that we did similar, that we changed up, that he changed up, I should say, was the way we did Never Take the Place of Your Man.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, I look back on those songs and a lot of memories just in general, you know, and, you know, I tear up, bro.
Yeah, you of course, you right out of Berkeley, you tour with Cameo and Patti LaBelle and so many great artists, but Prince, I mean, you were with him.
It was a timeline, and I think it was destiny that I end up with Prince for all those years, because it was Cameo 3 years straight into Patti LaBelle, and 3 years with Patti, and within those 3 years, Prince was at numerous concerts of Patti, and that's when he asked me to join the band after 8 months of coming to Paisley Park.
Right.
He invited me up to Paisley after he saw me on the Patti LaBelle Shaka Khan tour, and I was just about to ask him if I could jam with him, but before I could even get the words out, he asked me, and I'll never forget that, and I can't thank him enough for that opportunity.
Now specifically about your drum kit and everything like that, could you pick and choose most of what you were using on stage, or was Prince putting a lot of input in what your drum set looked like and played like?
He told me what colors he wanted.
Oh, okay.
You know, basically, like, for instance, with the Hit and Run tour, the 2001 Hit and Run tour, I should say, when I pretty much had to make a move up to Minneapolis, after being chosen as his drummer, I would always bring up videos of all my favorite drummers, and I would watch the videos in the pantry, in the little cafeteria or the kitchen of Paisley Park. Because one, I wanted to watch him, and I also wanted Prince to see it.
Okay.
And one particular video was Mahavishnu Orchestra with Billy Cobham.
Okay. Yeah.
Who's one of the greatest drummers ever, and my all-time favorite drummer, next to Tony Williams. Billy would play this see-through Fibes kit. It was a fiberglass kit, and it was like a see-through kit. It was, some see-through, whatever. And so you can pretty much see through the drums, and, you know, through the drums and everything. And Prince said one day, he said, "John, that's the kind of kid I'm going to do on the next tour. Like, I want you to have a see-through kit, but the color would be purple." And so I called Tom drummers who I was endorsed by at the time, and they said, "Oh yeah, we can do that, but it's gonna cost you a lot." And I was like, "Well, I'm endorsed. What's up with that?"
Right.
So I told Prince, I said, "Prince, they said it's going to cost us this such and such amount." And Prince said, "I'll take care of it, Johnny." I was like, "All right, we're cool."
That's right.
Let me get back on the phone and order the drums. And then, of course, on the musicology tour, he wanted the kit to be purple, a glitter purple, and once again, I got that done. And then Welcome to America tour, he wanted me to have a double bass drum set, and the color of the kit would be a black with traditional stands and things like that, because he wanted to inspire the kids to see like a traditional drum set, nothing fancy or anything, but just like old school style, pretty much rock and roll.
Right.
And he wanted the kid to inspire other kids in the audience to say, "Hey, I want a kid like that," or "I want to play drums," So he was always in touch with whatever I played. I just couldn't bring up a rainbow kid or anything like that and say, "I'm going to play this kid."
Mm-hmm.
No, it had to be
pass inspection. Yeah. Now you're talking about the live tours, but you did so many recordings. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm talking about the live situation.
Yeah, but you did so many recordings in Paisley Park, and for probably had no idea what the songs were going to be intended for, right?
No, I had no idea. A lot of the music that we did that I thought was going to come out was tossed in the vault.
Right.
I'm talking about songs that we did together that were. I mean, every time we finished, I'd be like, "Man, Prince, that's a hit.
Right.
That's a hit, man." And he says, "It could be, but I'm going to put it in the vault." And I'm like, "What?" "No, man, don't do that." But he did it.
Now everybody, of course, for umpteen years, probably when you were a little kid, talked about the vault. What does the vault actually look like?
I couldn't tell you because I only saw it from the door. I saw one day somebody had to get something out of there for him.
Oh, okay.
And they opened up the door, and I saw Sheila E's kit that's on the album cover of Sign of the Times.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That was sitting right by the door, and there's some other things in there that I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say or whatever. But I didn't go inside.
Right. Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if I was allowed.
Right.
Also, I was scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to get in trouble.
That's right.
Walk up in there, and then Prince comes down there and, "John, what are you doing in here?"
Right.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, the man on the other end is our great friend, Mr. John Blackwell, who's been so kind to come on our show many, many times, and you just have created some of the best music Prince came out with all these years, and looking at when's the last time that you talked with Prince?
About it. I would say it was a while. It was a while ago, about last year or so.
Right.
But the last thing I did with him was the Hit and Run Phase 2 album. That's the last album that he put out. Right. And I really enjoyed that album. That was a great album.
Yeah, that's
Michael Bland and Hannah Ford is on that record as well.
Okay, yeah.
But it was on be on that record. But I never forget the first time I recorded with him was the very first studio album that I played on. Because before that, I was always on live albums of Cameo or Patti LaBelle, and I was always saying, "Man, I can't wait to do a studio record." And Prince gave me that opportunity, and it was just me and him when we recorded the Rainbow Children.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he brought in other people later to overdub, but a lot of stuff that we created on that record was created right on the fly of what he was hearing in his head.
Right.
And he always told me, but what he fed off of was, he basically said, "John, I wrote it, but I want you to take this and play it like if you wrote it and see the album finished and see the song finished." And I understood what you were saying, so it was almost like I tried to make it my own through his guidance, And of course, he already had a vision of how it would be, but he wanted me to take it and look at it as in my vision and what I hear and what I see. And that was a big honor, to collaborate with him and record such a awesome album. I enjoy the Rainbow Children and a lot of the songs that we did on there. I remember one day we had a party and he was playing the Rainbow Children for the first time to the Paisley people, the fans. He had a party, and me and Prince were in the back, and he said, "John," he said, "you see, a lot of people don't understand this record, but I guarantee you, years from now, they're going to be talking about this record."
Mm-hmm.
And me and you did that record. And I never forgot that,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to get into, first off, John, we got to thank you. I'm sorry tonight it's such a brief time for everybody because we're only up until 8 o'clock, but, you just said some heartfelt words, and actually I got the Rainbow Children. We're going to go into The Everlasting Now, which you guys slayed on the Jay Leno show.
Yeah.
Yeah, great performance. Everybody styling and profiling, and you just giving that great drum performance.
Well, that was Prince's beat. He actually, when he created Everlasting Now, he said, "Get off the drums. I'm gonna show you what I want." And he got on the drums and he played that beat.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I did the best I could do with it.
Right.
And then I had some great ideas at the end. And I said, "Prince, you know what would be cool is if we did a drum intro to the song that kind of sounded like what Jerome Braley did on the live Parliament album song, Do That Stuff." And he said, "Yeah, that'd be a great idea, John, but don't do it exactly like what Jerome did. Change it up a little bit, but similar to what he did." And that's the drum intro on Everlasting Now.
All right, John Blackwell. Love you, brother, and, we're going to keep that funk alive for Prince Rogers Nelson, right?
That's right. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, this is Prince from the Rainbow Children. Prince and John Blackwell, the core participants on this record, The Everlasting Now.